On December 17th, an Israeli newspaper reporting about life in the West Bank tells the story of a car that approaches an Israeli army roadblock near Kalkilia, which is in the Shomron. The newspaper article goes on to say how when the soldier checked to see who was inside the car, he started to laugh. What was the cause of his laughter? All 5 passengers in the car were wearing helmets. For the Boim family of Karnei Shomron, wearing helmets is much, much more preferred than having to duck every time they're on their way home and having to go past Kalkilia, which is a hotbed of Arab-Jew hatred. It is, nevertheless, not a laughing matter. Wearing helmets would not have helped the Moses family, because it was at Kalkilia that their family car was firebombed, and then pregnant Oprah Moses and her young son Tal Moses were burned to death when an Arab firebomb hit their family car. Nor would helmets have helped the Weiss family on their way to a bar mitzvah in Jerusalem at Yericho, when on the bus that they were traveling on, it was also hit by an Arab firebomb, and Rachel Weiss and her 3 sons were burned to death. These horrible tragedies speak for themselves. The daily rock throwing, fire bombings, riots are clearly the beginnings of an all-out civil war in Israel. Perhaps just as tragic, perhaps more tragic, is that we stand today on the brink of witnessing the Israeli government surrendering to the Arabs, surrendering more land to the Arabs. If Menachem Begin was capable of surrendering the Sinai to the Arabs, you can be sure that Shamir is ready to give up parts of Yehuda v'Shamron. Is there any reason for these terrible problems facing us other than that we are cursed with an Israeli government that can't act and won't act? Is there any other reason for these terrible problems facing us other than the fact that for the past 21 years we have been cursed with an Israeli government under many names that has kept Yehuda and Shomron and Gaza in total limbo? It's ours, it's not ours, it's half theirs, it's half ours, it's maybe ours, maybe theirs, we'll give you half, we'll keep half. Isn't it true that there really isn't an Arab problem, but really a Jewish problem? Shomron and Gaza and Yehuda are ours, they are Jewish, and we're going to keep them. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We are here to answer for an Israeli government that has no vision, that has no answers. We intend to keep Yehuda and Shomron and Gaza Jewish in our hands and free of Arab terror. Last Wednesday, the first Zionist Congress establishing the state of Judea took place at the Plaza Hotel in Jerusalem. 600 people took part. A quarter of all the settlements found in Yehuda and Shomron were represented, and the event was covered by an army of reporters. As many of you can probably guess, however, the event was covered on Jordan television, but not on Israeli television. I thank you all for coming tonight. Every one of us here tonight merits to hear Rabbi Meir Kahana speak about the creation of the state of Judea. From the lips of the same man who had the vision to revolutionize American Jewish life, from the lips of the same man who had the vision to publicize and promote the Soviet Jewry struggle, from the lips of the same man who had the vision to make Arab transfer a legitimate issue in Israel today, I'm very happy to present to you Rabbi Meir Kahana, whose same vision will see us retain Yehuda and Shamron and Gaza, whether Israel annexes those territories, God willing, or whether there will be a Jewish state of Judea. Rabbi Meir Kahana.
Last week in Yerushalayim, we created the second Jewish state of Judea. And it is important for every Jew to understand why, what the state means and what it does not mean, what our purpose was and is, and what our purpose is not. One can begin to understand what the state of Judea is by beginning to understand the situation as it is now. Last week, Moshe Aaron, the foreign minister of Israel, speaking before the Knesset Committee on Foreign Affairs, told them, we need not adhere to long-held positions. We need not be stone walls. For that he was praised openly, profusely by Yossi Sarid. If Yossi Sarid praises you, you know you must be doing something wrong. And if the Jerusalem Post praises you, you had best sit back and say, where have I gone wrong? And if your name is Moshe Aaron, not only of Likud, but of Cherut, not only of Cherut, but of Beitar, and that says a great deal about the glory that once was and is long since gone. Last Wednesday, Yitzhak Shamir appeared before soldiers in Shechem, and he stated, there will be peace because we will find the compromise between what our heart wants and what our head tells us must be. And that is another tragic and not so subtle hint as to the readiness and the willingness of this government to compromise. When Yitzhak Shamir speaks about an international peace conference under the auspices of the UN, you know that the beginning of the compromise is at hand. And when his top aide, Yossi ben Aaron, gets up and speaks of a confederation between Jordan, Palestine, and Israel, you know that we are in deep trouble. This is not Shimon Peres. This is the Likud. And when they speak about elections for mayors in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, you know that compromise is before us. We are paying the price for 21 years of a failure to annex the territories. It is we who created a vacuum so that today we have no reason to blame the world. We have no reason to blame anyone except ourselves. Because we did not annex these areas, the world, quite naturally, assumes that there are two options. Either a Palestinian state, which is justice, or a continuation of what we have now, which is occupation. That's the natural and logical concept that emerges from the fact that we have not annexed these areas. If something belongs to you, you leap upon it and you shout, "It is mine." You do not say autonomy. Autonomy means it's not yours, and if it's not yours, get out. You're a thief. We wonder why the world has positive feelings about the PLO. Let me tell you why. Because despite what they have done, the terror and the murder, they never compromised. They always said, "It is ours." And when someone hears someone say, "It is ours and I don't compromise," and the other party says, "Well, you take half and I'll take half," he says, that is the honest person, and that is the thief. We are paying the price for the fact that 21 years ago, when through the immense mercies of a merciful God of Israel and the powerful armies of Israel, we rolled and swept through the territories, and the world stood in amazement, in shock. And had we annexed the territories on that day, the world would have said nothing. But we feared, even then we feared the world. A people of little faith, a Jewish people that was once the people of the book, threw it away. Even then, there was no faith. In 1967, when the Arabs of Qalqilia saw the Israeli army move in, they fled. The whole town fled. At that time, there were only 8,000 residents. The whole town fled. Qalqilia had been one of the most obscene centers of Arab terror. And for years, Jews had waited for vengeance. And the Arabs knew that, and they fled. They fled. They fled, and they reached the Jordan. And Moshe Dayan, the Minister of Defense, sent the paratroopers to the Jordan to bring them back, lest, God forbid, the world think that there was another Arab refugee wave. Already then,